Someone wrote in and said, I love all your videos about if you tell a lie, and I really want to be upfront about things, but I'm new in this group and I'm feeling really shy, and I promised my new friends that I'd get something for them, and I can't do it. What do I do?
You tell them that you lied.
This is Reid from ReidAboutSex.com.
Cathy from TheIntimacyDojo.com.
It can be hard. Like, you're wanting to fit in. You have a new tribe that you're trying to be part of. And you're like, oh, yeah, I can get that. And then you're like, oops, I can't.
So here's the big thing. I think most people don't need people to be perfect. They need people to be honest, which also you don't need to be perfect about. It's that you tell them as quickly as you can what's going on, which is the important part. So when somebody tells me that they can do something and then tells me that they can't, that's better and actually has me trust them over time, because I might be disappointed. I might be like, man, like, you tend to say that you're going to do stuff and then not be able to fulfill on it. Like, if you have a pattern, then I just adjust my expectations. But if you tell me you're going to do something and then you tell me, you're like, oh, that thing I told you that I thought I could do, I can't. Even if you do that over time, that for me usually occurs, oh, this person's really enthusiastic. And ideally, you're trying to get the thing that you said you were going to get. But then if it didn't work out, I feel like you keep me up to date. And you don't have to be perfect about that. But like, you keep me up to date and you're trying. Most people, that's what they're looking for, is people who can be honest, keep them up to date, and who try and who care, right? And trust me, there's a lot of stuff I don't care about. What I mean by that is it doesn't bother me. Like, it's not worth my time to get bothered by it, so I really don't care. Like, that's a different video. But when you keep people up to date, you're honest, and you try, that's like, people are starving to be surrounded by people like that.
Yeah, and if you have a group of people that you kind of like, you're sitting around coffee and you're like, I can get that, and you felt really good with all the, their appreciation, it can be really hard in a new group to tell the group again. You might want to start with one person that you feel especially safe with and say, hey, I feel really embarrassed. This happened. You don't have to like jump off the cliff. You can start with someone you feel safe with, explain what happened, and just come clean, and then maybe share individually with each of them.
Now, if the group demands that because you said it, you have to get it, you might want to reconsider your group. Because that can be weird if they're like, oh no, you said that, got to do it. I don't know what, are they hazing you? Is this a sorority? Like, what's going on with that?
Well, some people, like, if you're part of, you're getting something done for a deadline or something, and you said you get it, that could be putting people in a bad place. It's not just like, oh, it'd be cool to get tickets to that. It was like, oh, I need it. We needed that.
If you're clear, like you tried to get it, and you're clear that you cannot, telling them sooner than later is always better.
Absolutely. But that doesn't mean you're automatically, like, if you made a commitment, it wasn't clear from the question if it was something, oh yeah, I can get tickets to that, that's no problem, versus I'm committing to taking care of this part of the project.
And okay, so let's go with that. They committed to taking care of this part of the project, and they cannot. What do they do?
I think that you have this tendency to absolve people of responsibility, but that ends up piling on other people sometimes. Like, how do you balance that? I think that people do, if they make a commitment, sometimes they do need to follow through.
But they can't follow through on it.
In that particular way. Maybe they have to do something else.
Like, as a project manager, I'm like, if they can't do it and the project needs that done, we have to move to the next level of project management, which is, how do we get that thing done?
Yeah, and telling the group right away is important.
Yeah,
that doesn't necessarily dissolve any responsibility you have if you've made a commitment.
If they can't do it, this is my opinion. I also had an alcoholic family, so there are a lot of things that people couldn't do because they were passed out. What's the next? If the thing is that important that it needs to get done, how do we get it done? And then as that's getting done, or once it's done, we can talk about commitment
or making restitution for the people that had to pick up extra stuff? Or
well, yeah, I mean, restitution's tricky too, because if the project needs, if you have somebody who commits all the time and fails all the time, that's a project management issue.
Right, but you just met these people, so
yeah. So restitution, if you keep letting the same person commit over and over again, and they keep not being able to fulfill, that's a management issue, because they can pile up restitution, and the group's not going to get what they need. Like, it's just not going to happen, and life's not always going to be fair. But what's the intention? What are you trying to fulfill on? And is it being fulfilled on? That is where I would focus energies and start. And none of that can happen if you're withholding from them that they need, that you can't do the thing.
Yeah. So share, you don't have to share with the whole group, but at once you can share with each individual if that feels easier. Or sometimes I've written a letter because it was hard to get the words out because I felt so embarrassed. And
a difficult conversation formula will help you walk through that. And for group dynamics, people you can count on to keep you up to date, who are trying, that makes you really valuable to the group. And, and then also don't be afraid to leave the group if they can't handle that. Sometimes shit falls apart. Yeah. Because that's not a very, the group needs to be adulting as well. Good luck.
Hope this helped. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to subscribe to my social media, it's right there. And please subscribe to this channel there. If you'd like to see more goofy Reid and Cathy, there's more videos there.
See them. Why are they there?